Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. Welcome to another episode of Watercolor Instructions with me. So I'm going to do another boat scene. This one is boats when the tide goes down. So maybe there's few boats. Uh, if you haven't done any boat, much boats, there's a simple couple of techniques. Probably I'm going to just do one or two techniques just to give you an idea. The most common thing which when you Google you can find is the number 8. So just do number 8, depending on that's the boat and the highest point. So that particular line, if you can see it, you erase that line, and that line gives you a boat. So that one probably needs to be somewhere here. Very easy and very effective. So that's a boat. If I want to do another one in the same fashion, but the back facing us. So that could be the keel. And that's another boat. So if you erase that, you can see how slightly effective is that. So painting that again is, so I'm going to just use some neutral color, make sure that it's all wet. And a little bit of maybe a boat in the motor in the back. And a little bit of color. And the bottom can be something in that order. Also, if you want to add another person sitting there. It's effective, and same thing if I want to do this direction. I'm just wetting the sort of boat. So and not to forget, if it's got a little bit of mast or other things, a dagger board, maybe it needs to be a little more. So you get the idea. So you're trying to do a boat This is just a 8 position, but it's very effective. So in this case, again, I'm going to try to compose it. Maybe if needed, I'll put in a photo. So composition, so I'm trying to do this, put the focal board over here, maybe one more board, and then there's a little bit of the background. And also what I'm trying to compare is to get an effect of the tide. So the boat is slightly at an angle. In this case, probably I'm going to do center. Okay. So a simple boat. Then there's a bench and a little more detail. Okay, so that's the main focal element. I need to check if the video is being recorded, and then also another board, maybe in that particular plane. So let's see. So okay, and a tilt. So a plank to sit, and then also the plank. Okay, and then obviously shadow of the board, a little bit of wash, and then let's do a tide. Maybe up here. Here. Over here, I'm going to do some small boat which are 8 in size. Okay, and then maybe over here. That didn't come out correctly. I'm gonna redo that. So and some boats fallen off, just the back of it. Okay, maybe that's the end of the banks. So that's the basic idea. So a little bit of still of water here, and there's the tide. We'll see how I'm gonna cover this area. So a little bit of blue skies. This is cerulean blue. I'm gonna add a little more color on the top. Let it sink. So I'm going to just try to take a little more water out and then drag it so that we can get that lovely reflection. I'm going to try to do that area as a bit more reflection. Okay, so reflection. I'm slowly building. So light falling over here. Okay, should be enough. I'm gonna just continue. Okay, I'm gonna come in, dump all the palette colors. I've got all the reds which I'm looking for. So, reflection, and I continue. It's a bit more yellow than I wanted. Also, I want to keep that edge in the board. So, okay. So I'm going to just add a little more. Color. Okay, so also I'm going to just beef up the back. It's a little more stronger colors. And a little bit of greenery in the back. Can't make out much. I'm gonna add a little more. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on that area first. If I can finish the build, a little more dry. That's better. Right. Okay. So. Okay, so I'm going to slowly build my boats in the harbor. So this particular boat, so obviously let's the reflection, the light is in that particular direction. So all my boats will have probably I should do that way. It there's a little more space. I think probably I'm going to change my angle for attack to the side. And probably this is a good time to just dry a little bit. Okay, so I continue with the boats in the background first, and then so okay, so a little bit of shadow. Okay, so we're slowly getting and not forget shadow. Okay, so also it needs a little more dew. Okay, so we come to the slightly bigger boat. So plenty of water. Add cooler colors, and also making sure working my way. So this particular area, so a little more darker. And continuing. I'm just trying to build a profile. Working with the warm tones, the cooler tones. Okay. Anyway, with a slightly bigger brush, do the so more color. Okay, and shadow as well. So we're looking at slightly. That was a bit too dark, but as long as it's wet, I can manipulate and push and pull. Okay, that one is too white. I'm going to just dumb it down with some sort of any of the, maybe a little bit of turquoise. Okay, and all right, I would let it sit down for a minute while I work on some of the areas in the back, add a little more depth. Plenty of splattering. A little more darker. and continue with a little more. Okay, so a few more bits and bobs I can add. So there is no rhyme or reason, I'm just adding a little more texture. A little more texture, and then maybe a little more blue. So what I've found is for the dry brush, especially these Chinese calligraphy brush, they tend to have better in doing some rough sketches. So I'm taking in some cerulean blue, loaded with a little more pigment, and I'm just pushing it through the paper gently. To give that broken edge, and I add a little more. Oh. Okay, so these boards are too light. I just can't make out if they are in the water, so I'm going to just try to darken it a little bit so that we can in fact see the board. Maybe a little color on this particular board. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is some anchor points. And some mast along with that. So and add a little more, maybe a light. And this area looks too clean. I'm going to just add a little more. Okay, that's fine. Couple more tethers. Maybe a little couple of birds. And now I'm going to add a little more texture to maybe something in the sand. So I'm gonna call that quits. Maybe a little more dark inside. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Help me out. Hit like, subscribe. Every single like and a subscription helps me. Let me just unveil the mask, or probably I should. So I think one of the best part about painting for me is unmasking. So putting it in the frame, it's oddly satisfying. I've done enough paintings. You think I would be used to it, but not. Every time I look forward for peeling the mask. For all the materials and the brushes I use, I'm going to add a couple of slides in the end, all the brushes and other things. So let's just see if it's in the link. That's right. So as I said, help me out, subscribe if you haven't, and keep watercolor painting. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.